with the Underground Railroad Society of Cass County, and we're standing here in front of the Bonine House here in Vandalia, Michigan. And the Bonine House is a home of Quaker abolitionist James E. Bonine and his wife Sarah Bogue Bonine. And James E. moved here in 1843, started building the house in actually married Sarah in 44, and started building their house in 45. Their original house was a classic Greek revival without the tower, and or the porches, just a 2 up, 2 down. And that after the Civil War, easy place. After the Civil War, the porches were added, and the tower, 4 more bedrooms upstairs, a dining room, and a kitchen downstairs. So for 4 years, we've been celebrating Christmas at the Bonine House. We're renovating the house. We've been working really hard on it. Generally, it's mostly empty through the year, but at Christmas, our members take rooms and decorate them, and we invite the community and the public to enjoy Christmas in this lovely home. So, I'm going to take you on a tour of the decorated rooms, and we'll see you shortly. We have to show you Lucky, the Bonine House lion. Here's Lucky all dressed up in his Christmas finery. This little lion was pretty much a big lump of cement when we bought this house. We purchased this house in December 29th, 2010. So we've been working on it for about 5 years. And Lucky was in bad shape. But luckily, people sent us pictures of when they used to live here in 1938, and we could see Lucky's face very plainly, and one of our members resculpted him. So now we call him Lucky because he's lucky to get his little nose and face back, and we're lucky to have the Bonine House, so everybody rubs his nose for luck. So you can do that yourself if you ever come to visit us. These are our beautiful porches that you can see. We just finished those about a month and a half ago. And they certainly add to the majesty of the home. Here we're walking around the side of the home. You can see the original Greek revival. You actually see the Greek frieze at the top of the house. So that was the original house. And then, like I said, after the Civil War, the tower and the porches were added, and this whole back end, the whole north part of the home. So now we're actually going around to the back of the house, and you see our latest construction project. Actually, it's the last structural hurdle. We've had to do quite a lot of work, but this is, our little soldiers are greeting us. Okay, and here we see the current project. All the anchor bricks broke between the 2 layers of bricks, so we had to take down the outer layer and re-anchor the bricks, and we're building up that layer with the original brick. So on we go. Let's go into the house, and we'll take you on a little tour of the rooms in our Bonine House. Okay, here we come into our kitchen, and like I said, this house is empty most of the year, and but at Christmas at the Bonine House, we decorate it all up. And you can see this member loves kitchen utensils, and so she filled the shelves with crocks and all kinds of old-fashioned things that are really fun to look at. She also has a lovely shelf filled with lovely things. She likes red and white and Santa. And here's her sweet table filled with snowman dishes and a cake all ready to happen. So let's go into our dining room. And while this is a Victorian home for sure, and we decorated kind of in the Victorian fashion, it's not strictly, but we did try to make it pretty and festive. And so here's our table with some lovely dinnerware and a buffet. Sweet corner shelf. And a wonderful treat. So if we walk over here, we have our downstairs bathroom. Again, decorated by one of the members of the Underground Railroad Society. And you can see, again, it's just fun and pretty. Got some interesting old mirror and brush and comb. Okay. Now we come to our office. This is the URSCC office. That's what we call ourselves. That's our initials. And you can find out a lot about us on our website, urscc.org. And with some fun things in an office, of course, we have to have an old typewriter and our letter to Santa. And we have great shirts and totes and hats and beautiful note cards for sale here. And we just got them in because our porches are just done. This is pictures of how the house looked when we got it. You can see it was pretty rough. That's winter 2011. The roof was totally compromised. There were giant holes in every ceiling. Lots of things living in here and lots of gifts left in here by many, many animals. This is 2014, where the tower roof, the house roof, a lot was done. Masonry on the front, and yet to add the porches, and this is just fall of 2015 with the porches. So you can see how the house has really just come into its own over the last 5 years. It's very majestic now. If you look up here, you can see the house in the 1940s, and you can see that we have duplicated the porches to the letter. All right, from here, actually this is down our hall, and you can see the donation station at the end of the hall. We'll come around to that, and our stairway. All right, from here we'll go into the living room. Now we're coming into the living room, and this is really the heart of the house. And you can see our tree in the corner, a lovely chandelier. We do have some Victorian furniture, lovely little grouping in here that was donated by one of our members. Candelabra in the corner, and some beautiful shears that grace the windows. Sweet desk. We'll try to give you an overall sense of this room. Okay, got some mistletoe right here. Now we're going into the hall. Very lovely chandelier. And this is the donation station. And this is an alcove. Actually, you can see the front doors of the house behind the tree. And this is where we sit, and people come up, they sign ornaments for the tree. You can see how fun. And this is the stairway. Again, very nicely decorated by one of our members. You can see James and Sarah Bonai kind of overlooking everything. And a cute wicker sleigh. All right, so we will go into Santa's parlor. This is very fun, very festive room. And this is where Santa and Mrs. Claus and their elf sit and meet kids of all ages. We have a toy corner here. Here's Mrs. Santa sleeping and snoring and a toy train and a beautiful Victorian carousel. That actually it's very fun. And another tiny tree and chairs for Grandpa and Grandma to sit while the kids are visiting with Santa. Now we'll go upstairs, and lovely curving stairway. And see some of the rooms that have been done up here. This is a lady's bedroom. Give you a sense of this room. Lovely, very pretty Victorian sense. Beautiful banner. A mirror and a lovely tree and decorations. Beautiful brass bed. All set for some tea. And an Underground Railroad quilt behind it. So let's see if I can give you another view of this room. Okay, and this room actually connects to what we call the little boys' room. A lot of blue in here, just some fun books and games. Child's bed, very beautiful bed. And lots of teddy bears. A little desk. And some toys. This is the nursery. Well, we call it the nursery. Again, all these rooms are decorated by our members and their friends. A lot of times they'll bring in things from home just to accent. Some of the pieces we have, of course, are donated. This great rope bed was donated. Sweet light fixture. Just interesting, fun things. This is the north side of the house. This is actually the back of the house. We call this the Bonine bedroom. And this is wonderful. This furniture was also, it's very period, was also donated. It's a beautiful bed. Our only squeak in the house. And as well as a lovely china cabinet. This member loves Santas. This is her vintage Santa collection. Beautiful dresser. This is a great Santa. A charming tree. And this is from a descendant of Sarah Bogue, who donated this incredible lamp, which we just put up for this Christmas. Next door, we have what we refer to as our Bethlehem room. And this was done by a member, just in a very simple style, 3 wise men worshiping and a simple message. And right next door is our snowman bathroom. It's very fun, festive, lots and lots of snowmen on the shelves. And we didn't light it, but there's a tree in the shower. And a wreath and a lovely Merry Christmas message. Okay, so now we're just looking down the whole hallway from the back of the house to the front. All right, and as we walk down this hallway, we're passing the little boy's room on the left and the nursery on the right. Get more of a shot of the stairway. And now we're coming into our library. And this is something that we've just done in 2015. We've had a lot of research on the Underground Railroad. Of course, that's our mission, is to tell the story of the Underground Railroad in Cass County, Michigan, and it is an amazing story. So one of our members spent 2 years researching all the families that were here in the 1850s that had anything to do with the Underground Railroad. And mostly these were Quaker and free black families. And we have over 40 families documented, as well as just tons of other information about the Underground Railroad. So our library is really the heart of our mission, and we certainly invite you to come here and research. A lot of scholarly research will be done, and family research, and we invite all the families to add their own historical research, their own family history, and just keep this up for generations so everyone can come here, learn about their ancestors, and add their own history to it. We have wonderful paintings throughout the house, and this is very special. Paul Collins, a very famous artist from Grand Rapids, this is his Harriet Tubman in the Underground Railroad. He painted this in 1971. This is a beautifully framed print, and Paul did a show for us in 2013, so we're very pleased to have this painting. This is a poem called The Fugitive Slave by our Cass County Poet Laureate. Her name is Lois Cross Hart, and she has written a few poems for us among her prolific thousands of poems. She has been a member and a supporter since the beginning, and we're very thrilled to feature her work in the Bonine House. We have currently a 14-site, soon to be 17-site, self-guided driving tour of Underground Railroad sites around Vandalia that you can download on our website. And again, we come and invite you to come anytime and take this tour. We have many sites all around the area. This is a picture of our 2015 Underground Railroad Wax Museum. The kids at Sam Adams School, our local school, adopt characters, write a speech, research their character, write their speech, stationed all around the house. And when you press their button, they come to life and tell you who they are. Many of them are portraying their 5th generation ancestors, both Quaker and free black. It's a wonderful, charming event in the spring every year. Okay, now we'll go to the tower. This is another artist that has interpreted the Bonine House on a mirror. Really unique and wonderful. Here we have the tower entrance with a lot of just fun items, lace curtains, very homey. Okay, and here's kind of this lovely little nook full of fun and pretty things just to look at and enjoy. And this takes us up to the tower. So just come with me, watch your head. And we're actually going up the tower that you saw outside. All right, this is the first level. We have our tree. Another terrific artist did a batik of the Bonine house in 1971. This house has been in people's lives for a long time. So many people are connected in so many ways. These are the round windows that you saw, and when you look outside across the way, you can see the carriage house. Let's see if I can get a close-up of that. There it is. That's where the freedom seekers, that's what they call fugitive slaves now. They call them freedom seekers. That's where they were sheltered. James and Sarah lived in this house, but the freedom seekers, they say there were over 1,500 that came through this area. They weren't all sheltered here, of course, but many were. And we own that as well, and that will be restored as a Underground Railroad station. We're in a capital campaign right now to try to complete the restoration of the Bonine house and the carriage house by 2017. You can find all about it at, there's our Lucky. You can find out all about it on our website. It's a wonderful spinning wheel that was donated. Okay, there's another level in the tower. Okay. Here we are at the top of the tower with our sweet, we call this our angel tree. And we have a special memories. People put ornaments on this tree for their special memories, special loved ones. And here's a carving wheel. It was also donated at the same time as a spinning wheel. Very old. And here's another wonderful piece of art. And this is by one of our members who portrays Harriet Tubman as an angel. So it's very fitting for her to be in this room. This is the house is ringed with pines. All original. These are from the 1800s. You can see across the fields. In fact, this is a great view. You can see here, this is right out the back of the Bonine house. Incredible sunsets here. And again from the front, you can see the carriage house. The building in front of it, it's raining pretty well now. The building in front used to be a gas station and general store, and the building to the left was these were built in the 1930s, and they actually worked on cars in that garage. And the general store operated well into the 60s actually, and then it became a feed store and tractor dealer and many things. We would love to restore that, move that to the east side of the property, and used to have a pot-bellied stove and ring bologna and cold pop and hoop cheese. So we think it would be just a really fun, wonderful tourist information center. If you look at this field behind that incredibly neat tree, that's what's called Ramp Town. And if you go on our website, you can learn all about this. James Bonine bought this property in 1853. He bought that section. And by this time we had had our Kentucky raid, where slave catchers came up here and tried to recapture their slaves that had escaped and were being sheltered here. And but you read about it on our website. We would not let them take their slaves back to Kentucky. So, but there were several raids here, and but by the 1850s, even though it was very, very dangerous,
This was rather a safe haven. So Bonine invited people up here. And again, there were mostly free blacks that came up here to settle. And many did come. He let them use 5 to 10 acres. They could build a cabin. They could send their kids to school, work for other people, earn their own money. It became a community of 20 to 25 cabins, and quite remarkable, right in the middle of slave times, to have this kind of community. It was called Ramp Town, named after wild leeks. They're called ramps that grew profusely in this area. And Ramp Town lasted into, well into the turn of the century, but there's no trace of the cabins now. But it's an important site. James Bonine became a very wealthy farmer. He had over 1,600 acres. And Bonines lived in this house for 100 years. They actually, Bonines lived in this house for over 100 years. They sold it to a local Quaker family and, in the mid-50s. We're heading down the tower steps now. So the last Bonine to live here, she lives in Florida. She comes and visits us. She's so happy that we're restoring her childhood home. Okay, I'll see you downstairs. Okay, there's James and Sarah, and we're just headed downstairs. And we'll go through the living room one more time. And another local artist just donated this picture of the Bonine, this painting, her painting of the Bonine house just very, very recently. We're very happy to have that. Beautiful. And we're coming back out to the dining room. And right here, I think we'll say goodbye. We hope you've enjoyed the tour. Have a wonderful Christmas and a great New Year. All the best to you and yours. Bye-bye.